Hello there, world. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Joe, a licensed certified public accountant with over 10 years' experience in corporate and public accounting. I have an extensive background in accounting, audits, and taxes, and I'm all about helping you take control of your money and live smarter. If you received a business grant or are planning to apply for one, first of all, that's a huge congratulations. This is a huge win for your business. But the big question, what do I do with this money? How do I track it? Are tax rules that I need to follow? In this video, I'm breaking down simple, no fluff accounting tips for handling business grants, even if you're not an accountant or a financial pro. Be sure to subscribe to the channel to check back for more videos. And don't forget to check out our blog site where we post every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Let's get started with a quick definition. What is a grant? A grant is money given to your business that you don't have to pay back. But there is a catch. It usually comes with rules about how you're allowed to use it. For example, some grant rules are it must be used for payroll, rent, or equipment, it must be spent within a certain time frame, and it may require receipts or progress reports. Always read the fine print before you spend a dollar. You want to make sure you're using the money exactly how the grant says. One of the best things you could do is to keep your grant money separate from your business funds. You have a few options. One, you can open up a separate bank account just for grant funds. Or number two, create a category or label in your accounting software like Grant Funds 22X. Why does this matter? It makes tracking much easier, especially if you have to report back to the grant fund provider or show how the money was spent. And if you're ever audited, everything is clean and clear. In my audit practice, we often do these single audits for different entities that receive grant money. One of the biggest issues we have is that a lot of times when they receive the grant money, it's not spent the way it should be according to the grant agreement. This causes for loss of money to the business and possibly never being able to receive grant from the grantor ever again. So it is very good practice to make sure that you keep good, clean records of everything. Next, you've got to track how every dollar of the grant is spent. This is where most business owners get tripped up because they don't keep good records of how the money was spent. Remember to keep it simple. Use a spreadsheet or a software like Excel or Google Sheets, maybe some kind of accounting software such as QuickBooks, Waves, or Notions, or even pen and paper. Just be consistent. Here's what you're going to want to track: the date of the expense, what was purchased, the amount spent, the receipt or proof, and note if it's related to the grant. Create a digital folder and label it grant receipts and upload it to a scan or photo. That way everything is backed up. Now here at the bottom on the screen, we have a good tracker, a good way of how you could track your grant expenditures. Now, this is coming from a simple Excel sheet in red at the bottom here. So we have our date, we have our item, we have our amount, and we have our grant purpose. So it looks like for this first receipt, we have a date of August 10th, 2025. It looks like the item that was purchased was a laptop in the amount of $900. And for the grant purpose, it was for the equipment upgrade. And then we have another one, another purchase here on August 12th, 2025. It looks like the item is for a Facebook ad in the amount of $200, and the grant purpose is for marketing. This is a great way of how to keep track of those receipts. Next, you're going to want to categorize your expenses. When it's time to do your taxes or report to the grant provider, you'll now there's some common categories you can use in order to categorize your expenses. We have payroll, equipment or supplies, marketing, rent or utilities, training or consulting. If your grant is limited to a certain types of expenses, only use it for those expenses. Don't guess. Misuse can mean you have to pay it back, and that's the last thing that you'll want. Let's discuss and go over the tax implication of the grant money that you received. So, do I have to pay taxes on my grant money for my business? Well, the answer It depends. Some business grants are considered taxable income, others aren't. It really depends on what the grant agreement says. You really want to do is check the terms of the grant. Some are tax exempt, especially those from the government, and talk to a tax professional if you're unsure. Include grant income into your bookkeeping. Let's say, for example, you received a $5,000 grant and spent it on eligible business expenses. You still may need to report the $5,000 as income, but you can deduct the related expenses. So, what's the bottom line? The IRS sees most business grants as income unless it's specifically excluded. So, you really have to check the terms and agreement of your grant. Be ready to report. Some grants will ask you to report back on how the money was used, either quarterly, monthly, or at the end of the term. Be sure that you are ready to share with the grant giver a spending breakdown, receipts or proof of payment, outcome or results, like jobs created, sales increase. Keep notes as you go so you're not scrambling later. Your future self will thank you. Alrighty, let's do a quick recap of how to handle business grants the smart way. Number one, read the rules of the grant carefully. Understand what the grant is for and keep it handy to help you stay on track and prove how the money was used. Number two, keep the money separate. Open a separate bank account just for the grant to easily track how the money is spent and avoid missing it with regular business income. Number three, track every expense with dates and receipts. Treat the grant like a budget. You have to report to someone using an spreadsheet, free accounting software, or hire an accountant just to be consistent. Four, categorize your spending. It's not enough to say you used the grant money correctly. You may have to prove, so always keep your receipts and copies of payment records. Five, understand if it's taxable. Remember to check the terms of the grant agreement. If it's taxable or not, work with a tax professional or an accountant if you're unsure. Number six, be ready to report back. Many grants require you to submit a report showing how the money was used and what the outcome you achieved. Track your expenses and save the receipts to fill out the reports without scrambling. Getting a grant is a huge win, but how you manage it matters just as much. The better your records, the less stress later. If this video helped you clear things up, hit that like button. And let me know in the comments, have you ever received a grant? What questions do you still have about tracking or taxes? I'll talk to you next week where we'll discuss how accounting works for service-based businesses. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button and tune back soon for more videos. And check out the blog site where we post every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.